Notice when God lays down the principle of Sabbath, it's 1 day, not 2 days. He says, you're gonna lay up aside the 7th day. So I love it because it's a critique on workaholics and it's a critique on lazy people. It's a critique on workaholics because it said, hey, by the way, stop and rest for 1 day. But it's a critique on lazy people because it says, you don't get 2 days off. You don't get 4 days off. Work the field. Do your thing. This is what God has called us to do. And so don't waste your life. Proverbs 15 says this, the way of the sluggard is blocked with thorns, but the path of the upright is a highway. What's this teaching us? Literally, the teaching of the book of Proverbs and the teaching of the entire Bible is super positive about work. Like if you contrast it with all the other religious texts of ancient times, all the other cultures of the times. For example, you know the Greek legend of Pandora's box? People kind of use that phrase. They're like, you open Pandora's box. Oftentimes we're like, oh yeah, they did, but we don't really realize what that is. There's creation and the first human beings are living in absolute paradise in all the Greek mythology, and then Pandora gets a box, and the gods say, don't open the box. But then one day she opens it, and when she opens the box, all of human misery and ills come out that afflict us today. They all come out of the box. But you know the other thing that was in the box? In the legend? Death, decay, disease, aging, sickness, and work. Work comes out of Pandora's box in that legend. That's the Greek philosophy. Work, negative. Even in the Mesopotamian cultures, they had accounts of creation, and in it, the gods would make the world, but when they make the world, they find out that there's like a problem. The world took a lot of work to actually keep up. And so they go, oh man, this is very hard. And so there's a bunch of stories where they're like, oh man, I guess we're gonna have to give these people a lot of work, and they're gonna do the work for us because we, the gods, don't wanna work, so we're gonna hire slaves to do it. And in the midst of a culture like that, the creation story of Genesis 1 and 2 comes and goes, no, work is actually part of paradise. It's what we do under the God who has given us that role. And so Dorothy Sayers, the writer, put it this way, the habit of thinking about work as something one does to make money is so ingrained in us that we can scarcely imagine what a revolutionary change it would be psychologically and socially to think otherwise. In the modern view, people become doctors not primarily to relieve suffering, but to bring themselves and their families up in the world. People become lawyers not because they have a passion for justice, but to bring themselves and their family up in the world. The church's approach to an intelligent carpenter is usually confined to exhorting him not to be drunk and disorderly in his leisurely hours and to come to church on Sundays. What the church should be telling him is this, Sayers says, that the very first demand that his religion makes upon him is that he should make good tables. The only Christian work is good work. Well done. Let the church see to it that the workers are Christian people and do their work well. As to God, then all the work will be Christian work, whether it is church embroidery or sewage farming.